Welkom bij de eerste aflevering van seizoen 2 van de CroudonCast met een nieuw formaat, video. De enige dingen die veranderd zijn is, we hebben nu Rick met webcam, dus jullie kunnen nu Rick zien. En omdat Niels weinig tijd heeft, hebben we nu voortaan een nieuw formaat waar we elke week een nieuwe gast uitnodigen. En ook Engelse afleveringen gaan doen, dus bij deze, welcome Bryson.
Hello.
We have an English episode this week.
Could you introduce yourself, Bryson?
Sure. I'm Bryson. I live in America, in Minnesota, St. Paul to be exact. I don't know. I've traveled all over the place. How much am I supposed to introduce myself?
How can people know you? Like, plug yourself.
Oh, for sure. Plug myself. I stream on Twitch, BasicWeech, twitch.tv/BasicWeech. Shameless self-promotion. I'm also a massage therapist, so if you're in the Twin Cities metro area, I do that. I don't know, and I've traveled all over the United States. I grew up in Twin Falls, Idaho, and then I moved to New York City and lived there for a year, and I went to school there. And then I lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and got my bachelor's degree in theater performance, and then ended up moving here to the Twin Cities about 3 years ago. So, yeah. I've traveled kind of all over the United States, and love traveling and learning, and I've got like 2 or 3 degrees, and I'm ready to just continue to grow and learn, and that's me. That's my little intro. No.
We were just talking about before the episode started about like the metric systems, like how it's different in the US, and it's like here it's also different.
And it's so infuriating, and I wish that like we had the metric system or just used it more, because it doesn't make any sense. Like our imperial system is so weird, and like
I believe in like science, and in like science it's still our system that's used.
But
If you go to like physics and science, they use like the European metric system, I believe.
Yeah.
you use Kelvin instead of Celsius.
Yeah, Kelvin instead of Celsius. That's the only difference. But for like measurements, they use like kilograms and grams and meters.
Yeah, we do that too, absolutely, in like chemistry and like science like programs and stuff. But I mean, in day-to-day life, we're using like feet and yards, which a yard is 3 feet as opposed to a meter. So yeah, it's super weird. Like I don't know, the whole language of it is super strange and convoluted.
I saw this funny meme the other day, of like a person like laying flat down on the ground, and like another person like walking over them with like feet, and it was like I'm measuring in feet or something. I don't know.
yeah, that's totally it. That's totally it. Yeah.
But when you guys like go to school, you still for like maths you use like still the inches and feet and stuff.
I feel like it's interesting. I don't know now what they're doing, but when I was a kid, it was sort of both. It was a mix of both. So we got like meters, but we also got feet. Like if you were in math class and you had like a word problem, it was either or. It was just a hodgepodge, and you never knew what you were gonna get. They're sort of interchangeable, and you just kind of had to know both of them.
We got like one lesson about like inch and feet, and it was like, you can just forget about it because we're never going to use it anyway.
Word.
So I have no clue. I actually still need to Google. For the longest time, I thought I was 6'7", but I'm actually 6'07" of 0.7, so almost 6'1".
Just 6 foot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's very tall.
Yeah,
I'm 5'11".
Yeah. You should be.
the average. Oh wait. In
Started
Dutch.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Nick has seen it too, if I'm correct. Let me search that.
The average height in of like our folk, like Dutch people, is 5'9'8", or 5.98 feet.
That's pretty consistent in America as well. But also Minnesotans. This is the thing that I learned like moving to Minnesota. Minnesotans are very tall, like very, very tall. Like
Is there a high
5'7",
difference per state?
5'8". Yeah and no. Like, I think it depends. It's weird. Like, I could say yes, but maybe that's just me generalizing. I feel like New Yorkers tend to be shorter. Like, I don't know.
But it's the same with like Irish people. They say Irish people are shorter
Irish.
because like Irish are like in the what how do we leprechauns like with like St. Paddy's Day and like a four-leaf clover like a rainbow pot of gold. That's why they always like say Irish people are shorter, but it's actually true that Irish people are shorter. Because if you look like Conor McGregor, I don't know if you know Conor McGregor, like the
I know
MMA
of
fighter.
Conor McGregor. Yeah.
He's short. He's like 2 heads smaller than me.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
New imperial system measurement ahead.
Just ahead.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking of like different systems of measurement that I like have heard of, and like what about like cubits, which is like the length of from your elbow to your wrist, you know, like
Yeah.
a cubit. Like we don't use that anymore, but it's still a length of measurement.
We always like so there was like a lesson in I believe like my elementary school. If you like measure from your point of your shoulder to, like and you stretch your arm out to, like the top of your fingers like a meter, and your fingernail is 1 millimeter thick, and your fingernail is 1 centimeter wide. And 10 centimeter is 1 decimeter, and it's like the from your hand, like the span width of your hand.
What if you just have really wide hands? Though? So it's just like a general
Yeah, it's just
measurement.
general.
That's really cool.
If you ever want to measure something just by eye, you can kind of measure it with your body.
That's really cool. I like that.
Guys, I
Hmm.
came up
Mhm.
with something, okay?
Yeah.
The English people who made the imperial system had a foot fetish.
But that's actually how did they ever know like it's a yard and a feet and a foot? Like how
Food!
which person was like we should name it foot?
The guy with the foot fetish, as I said.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who invented foot?
Who invented foot? Who invented the
Um,
foot? Jesus.
In the
It was
ancient
God.
Celtic society, the Welsh took guidance from the Greeks and designed a foot measurement of 9 inches. The city-dwelling Romans came closest to the modern-day foot measurement since their foot was measured 11.64 inches. So it was like it was actually European then. It originated from Europe.
Yeah, like like what you guys were talking about before, how it was a defiance like against Napoleon.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Thanks, Napoleon,
Thanks a
for
lot, Napoleon.
kilometer. It's a kilometer, right? Yeah. It's a
Kilometer. Kilometer.
Kilometer.
Kilometer.
Nico.
Kilometer.
I'll bend your Nico kneecaps.
I have some icebreaker questions. If you
Ooh.
guys want to use those, they're
Oh,
kind of
sure.
goofy.
Sure.
Just
But I figured that they would be kind of fun if you want to try them. I have one that I picked out that I thought was really good. Okay, cool. If buy your dream house, what's one weird room or feature that you would have?
I think it would actually be a weird feature, like weird room.
Yeah, well, either a weird room or a weird feature on your house that you would have.
with
Well,
room.
I would actually like do like a fully fledged studio with like just sound dampening with like a whole setup and maybe some recording equipment. But that's really not really weird, I guess.
Yeah.
But if it like money isn't an issue, then I would definitely go with like the crazy shit like a pool or something.
You know, a pool in your house?
Yeah.
Are you the kind of person that would want to do like an indoor pool, or are you like an outdoor pool, like that's covered, or like second story pool, like above the garage, or like on top of the house there's a pool that you can like look out over? Or
Have you ever seen do you know like there's infinity pools like hanging off the side of a building?
Yes,
Those are
dude,
crazy.
I've always wanted to swim in one of those. It would like really freak
That
me
you
out.
just
Like, with
swim
the
and
glass
look down?
bottoms on them. That would be so cool. I've always wanted to do that.
When I was in London, I was like, do you know the Tower Bridge in London? Yeah, sure. I believe, yeah. The Tower Bridge.
Mm-mm.
No, it's a famous bridge in London with
It's a
like
bridge
2
with
towers.
tower.
It's like a
It's a
sort of a
Really
monument stuff. But it's like at the top of the bridge, like a walkway, and they
Oh
are,
yeah, I
they had
definitely know this.
they had
Sorry, I just didn't know it was called that.
they had like glass the walkway at the top. I was with school. I was a week in London, and
Mhm.
we were like walking down the pathway at the top of the Tower Bridge because we were like sightseeing the Tower Bridge, and there were like glass plates in the bottom of the walkway, so you could just straight see
Oh.
down to the like the streets. And
That's so cool.
me and a friend of me were like standing on it, and every time a classmate or a group of classmates passed, we just jumped on it to just scare them.
Oh my gosh.
And
Is
every
it
time-
vertigo at all? Are you afraid of heights?
I get like sort of tingling in my stomach, but not really afraid or something.
Okay. What about you, Rick? What would be the thing that you'd put in your house?
Well,
Weird room or
uh,
feature that you would have?
weird room. I don't really know. Oh yeah, maybe just a recreation of a film scene or something like, I don't know, the garage of Rick and Morty.
Oh, that would be cool.
The kitchen of Family Guy, etc. So,
Oh,
something
okay,
like
okay.
that.
There's iconic
yeah,
scenes
yeah.
or iconic like sets.
Sure.
Iconic sets.
Very cool.
Oh, to
And
like
you.
yeah. What
What
would
were you
you
saying?
what would you
And
be doing?
What would I
rooms?
do? I think I really want a secret room. I want like
Like a bookcase
I-
that opens up.
yeah,
Oh!
or like you're
Wait.
in your kitchen and you like press a button underneath like the island and it like moves and then opens up into like a staircase and then there's like down you walk down in and it's like
That's really
another area that you wouldn't know was there before. It's like a basement there. And then not necessarily for like storage, but just like to know that that's there. I think that would be super cool. But I love the bookcase idea, like that there's a bookcase and you like pull one and it's
Yeah.
like this is
Have it-
now,
have-
and it's like a huge
But
secret.
that
room,
would be
you
cool
know?
to like make your studio if you like have your setup
Oh
and
my
stuff.
gosh, yeah, it would be so cool. It would be
Have
so
you guys
cool.
seen The Emperor's New Groove?
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
Probably one
Okay.
of my top 3 favorite Disney movies
Yeah.
of all time.
It's my favorite, but just
Disney movie tier
that,
lists.
but with the entrance of Yzma, just
Oh yeah,
Wrong
totally.
lever, Gronk. Wrong lever.
Please keep your hands and arms inside the vehicle at all times. Yeah, totally.
oh Yzma, put your hands in the air.
Dude, absolutely.
A whole roller coaster just down into your basement.
That would be.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine having like a roller coaster in my house though. Here in Minnesota, they're like one of the big tourist attractions is the Mall of America, which I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it is like just this massive mall, and there is a like whole theme park inside the mall.
I actually seen it in a movie, I believe. I know of it, but I actually haven't like. I seen it in a movie. That's the only thing I know it of.
Yeah, and it's really insane to see. There's like these comedy venues and there's like massive theaters and all sorts of stuff as well as shopping, and yeah, people go there and perform all the time. It's really crazy.
Yeah, we have a
So-
theme park near us too. We have the Efteling. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh yeah, Nick has talked about the Efteling, but I don't really know much about it.
It's like a fairy tale
Fairy
park.
Tale Forest.
Yeah.
That sounds like super fun.
It
What was
actually
some-
was like last year. It was the best theme park in the world. Disney Tokyo lost the spot, so it was the better.
Are you serious?
Because like
Yeah.
the Efteling takes really good care of the environment with like lots of nature and like lots of scenery, and they actually won a prize for it, like the best theme park in the world.
Very cool.
Which they
Very
deserved. Much
Yeah.
love to Tom Van Van and Anton Pieck.
Yeah, to all like people who created the art, like drew the like all the personas and characters of the park. Those were really great illustrations they made.
Wow.
Wait, I'm going to DM you a couple of pictures. Could you guys just do the next question?
Yeah.
I'm going to search up some pictures.
Here, I'm looking at him. Oh my gosh. This is so cool.
The original like creators of the park were like really great artists. They were really great in drawing.
With that, we have Fata Morgana.
And they both aren't alive anymore, but some family of them that is still alive. Actually, Rick is befriended with them.
Yep.
So
Wait,
that's really
I
cool.
have Tom van de Ven art over here. I'm the only one. Who does,
Rick actually got like art
here,
from him,
wait.
like original art.
No way.
Rick like once he contacted Tom van de Ven, one of the artists,
Yes.
like the family of him, and he got like an original art piece from him.
No way. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
This.
Oh.
We have this. Could see it.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And this.
Wow.
Those are all mine.
But
I'm going to search up a couple more pictures, but next
Efteling is
time.
really well known for their like great attention for detail, and like they build like a
Yeah.
whole story and environment around the attraction. Like most theme parks would be like, oh, here's an attraction, just boom. And actually,
Yeah.
the Efteling builds like a whole building around it with a whole fairy tale and environment and stuff.
Wow.
And because I don't know the English word for it.
Just say it. I'll
Stichting.
translate. Foundation.
Foundation, because the Efteling is a foundation, they're not making any money. They just like every money's made from
like a
the
non-profit organization. Okay.
every money like made from the Efteling is just put in their like workers. So they're like the director of the Efteling has a salary, and all the workers have a salary. But all the money, the boss of the Efteling can't really take more money than is given to for his salary. So every
Wow.
money made is just put in a vault until it's used for more attractions.
Wow. Oh my gosh,
Um,
this last picture you sent, or second to last of the actual, is this the actual park?
This is the whole. It's. There's so much more.
There's so much
There's a whole
green
fairy tale
happening.
forest.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
they have like different like parts of the Efteling, and every park has like every part of the park is like a separate name, like kind of districts. And they have like a fairy tale forest district, and like a district with more like roller coaster attractions, and a district with more like Indian themed, and a district that's more like Switzerland and Austria
Look at the
themed.
little mushrooms.
Now everywhere in the fairy tale forest there are like mushrooms besides the road. People take pictures
So
with.
cool.
Yeah, and they
So,
make
so
they
cool.
make a sound.
Yes, the mushrooms
What?
and through the fairy tale forest like may play a tune.
Oh, that's so
Tune.
cool.
What? Oh yeah, this one's pretty cool too. This is a roller coaster. No, my file isn't too big.
I'll put the picture up on screen, by the way, later in editing.
Over there. But everyone
Oh,
in the Netherlands already
wow.
knows about the Efteling, and if you don't, then
Yeah, we have more theme parks, but this is like the most well known, and I believe, or just the most like fun one to see or go to.
Yeah, I would love to see this. That's massive.
It
Yeah.
is. And we're subscribed to it, so we can go
Yeah,
whenever
we have like
want.
a subscription pass.
Mhm.
I can
What
That's
are
really
literally
cool.
I can literally walk for 5 minutes and I'm in the park.
Yep, same.
Nice. Nice.
And we go together very frequently, but
COVID.
due to Corona,
It's
locked.
closed. Completely
It's
closed.
Rip.
closed.
They did like
Close.
plexiglass in the waiting areas for like
Mhm.
to and like lines on the
Oh, yeah.
floor to like keep distance. but when the lockdown happened, they just closed down all the way. So now they're just doing renovations and like cleaning and repainting
That's nice.
while it's closed.
Mm.
They were thinking about opening and doing a field day for like everyone that has a vaccination pass card, that everyone that's vaccinated could like reserve a spot, but they cancelled it anyway because there was like too little people vaccinated to fill up the desired amount they want in the park.
Yeah, that stinks.
Man, I miss going to the Droomvlucht.
Dreamflight.
Dreamflight.
Droomvlucht in Dutch.
The translation is Dreamflight, but here in the Netherlands we call it Droomvlucht, which you say.
What is it?
Droomvlucht.
It's in the dark ride. It's like the car is like hanging below the rails and just going through the park.
Wait, I'm going
and
to
it's a slow ride, and the car like moves around and through all like this scenery.
Oh, cool.
The first image
And
I sent you,
the lore
and
of
the last image I sent you.
The lore of the attraction is you enter a dream world with like elves and fairies.
There isn't much lore. You make it up yourself. That's the whole.
No,
thing.
they actually Efteling made a lore for Droomvlucht, I believe. Like you enter like the dream world, like the smoke, and you see at the beginning and the end.
Yep, but the lore itself doesn't exist.
Or they didn't make any further
No,
story.
because Tom Van Ven didn't want that. He wanted a fairy tale like attraction, but he wanted the people to actually make the story up themselves.
More imagination.
They even made a musical of it. Droomvlucht the musical. Let's see. I totally forgot Villa Volta. Okay. Wait, Bryson, look at the last picture I sent you right now, okay? See that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's that house is going to flip, like it's upside down. It's going
it's
upside
like
down.
the inside is like a small swing with like all like chairs people can sit in, and like the house spins around if you're in it. So like the swing swings for a bit, like really slow it swings, and the outside of the house moves. So if for your like you're feeling it's like you're going upside down, but you actually aren't.
Wow.
And the lore behind it.
So cool.
The Loons and Drunische Duinen is a really famous natural area we have here with like dunes and forest in our area. And the lore behind it is of that attraction is like in this I believe 16th century, Rick? The Bokkenrijders?
I think so. 16.
It's like medieval, pretty much medieval 16th century. But there was like this organization like group, the Bokkenrijders, which means like goat riders, or like I don't know pretty like goat.
I'm going to search up the translation because there probably is.
Yeah, but there's like a criminal organization or criminal group that were like on horses and stole like a lot of gold and from people. And they once there was like a holy site in the middle of like the nature area. And they stole the altar, like all the gold from the altar. And then a white lady from like the heaven appeared. And they say that the leader of the organization was cursed. And he could never find rest until someone with a pure heart or pure soul entered his house.
Cool.
So that's like when you're in the house, it's like the curse like turning the whole house around.
Oh, I love it.
This is also a pretty beautiful picture. What is this inside?
Bug Riders is the literal translation.
Bug Riders.
And it was actually a true story because the Bug Riders were a legit criminal organization in the 16th century.
Yeah, and Tom Van Ven kind of did a rip-off of it. and made his own character and said Villa Volta.
Wow.
Yeah, there are plenty more, but let's discuss that after the podcast because
Very cool. I love all these pictures. It's beautiful.
It's really
Really
magical to
beautiful.
walk around there in the park.
Mhm. Very, very cool.
and there's this tune of one attraction specifically, which wait, what's the English term for that? Let me search it
What
up.
are you trying to say?
Oorworm.
Earworm. Like a song that gets stuck in your head.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which attraction?
Carnival Festival.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Whoa,
It's like a carnival ride, and it's like the gondolas is moving around scenery, with like those like it looks like a really cartoony style, and they move like all through all these countries. Like every different room has like a different country. So like England, America, Mexico. It's like a world tour for like children, and it's like this really catchy tune. It's just stuck in your head all day, and it's really annoying.
Nice.
We'll let you listen to it after the podcast because right now, next.
Yeah, we could talk about this. We could talk about this all day.
I love that you
would
guys
like
are
to
so
talk to
passionate
people
about this
more.
though. It's so cool. It's really interesting too. Okay, here's my other question. How do you get in the way of your own success?
Lack of motivation.
Yeah, lack of motivation. Pretty
It's
much
just
that.
wanting it, but like wanting things quick and easy. But you actually need to work for it.
Yeah.
Because success
What?
doesn't come falling in your lap. But I think more people have this issue.
Yeah, I think the majority of people.
But what do
Have
you
this issue.
think success is? What's like for you the definition of success?
What's success?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think success is very. Oh, look, it's Sydney. Hi, Sydney. How are you? Okay, thanks. Bye. I think success is kind of individually defined. For me, being successful is about feeling like I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. That's part of the success, but also feeling like I did it in a way that was not emotionally, physically, or mentally draining, and also was done so in a way that allowed me to uplift myself and or others in the process. I think those are like the
But
caveats.
accomplishing
that
your
come along with
goal
it.
is like one big goal or like tiny goals that go by day to day.
Both. I think it's both. Like small pieces. You can cheer yourself by being successful in small achievements of goal, but I think that also we should be able to recognize like, oh my gosh, I did this huge thing too,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And Rick,
I think
what's for you
especially
success? Oh, sorry.
Success.
I don't
No,
know.
go
may-
ahead.
Oh, yeah, go
You
ahead.
think
I was just
especially?
gonna say, I think especially in today's day and age, like we should take as many opportunities to like give ourselves a pat on the back as we can, because there's so many things that tend to kind of drag us down,
Yeah.
you know. And it's like we can get like we can spiral downward and be like, okay, well, I didn't do this, well, I didn't do this, well, I didn't do this, well, this is weighing on me, and blah 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 blah. But if we are like, okay, no, I did do this,
And
right. I
also
did this
a
right, I
lot
did
of
this right, I did this right.
a lot of things like small things we do like we like accomplish for ourselves, like the smaller things that we think like aren't worth mentioning, and we just
Mhm.
shove it away when actually
Yeah.
or like we think like, oh, if I mention it, people won't be like excited for me because that's like it
Mhm.
isn't like it's so little that it's not worth mentioning.
Yeah, we stop talking before like it even comes out of our mouth, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
But what's for yours? What do you think is success, Rick?
When I'm fully satisfied, which
Satisfied
I'm
in
not very
your work,
when
or
I'm
satisfied
not
in
really
your hobbies, or just satisfied in life?
just when I'm satisfied with something, like if I'm satisfied with art, with which I'm not often, never satisfied,
Sorry.
but when I'm fully satisfied with something, then it's accomplished.
Mm.
That's
You might know the struggle, Bryson. When
Oh,
you're
I was
doing
just
your
gonna
art.
say, as an artist, I really try to not
but can
like
you
put that idea of like, oh, I'm gonna be satisfied with this art piece, because I always am like, I have an idea of what it is gonna be in my head, and then it's never that. It's never what I think it's gonna be. So, well, maybe satisfaction isn't. I can still be satisfied with it, but I think expectation is more of what I'm talking about. Like I will never live up to the expectation that I built up for myself in my head, but that doesn't mean I can't be satisfied, right?
I think especially in art it's hard to reach a level of perfection that you can satisfy yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
And not only in art, I think in life. We're always striving for perfection when it's not reachable.
Yeah,
But
totally.
what is perfection? No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask that because that's too deep.
I
Deep.
think simply perfection is this unattainable goal that we put in front of ourselves to like sort of torture ourselves with, right? Like whether knowingly or not, we do it. We're like, well, it needs to be perfect, and it's like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like you can't. There's no such thing.
I think for me success is just living a healthy life, like being able to do the stuff I love all day. And just if I like I just want to, my success lays in if I can have a family one day and make enough money to supply them and supply my family and myself, and maybe have a little money left to do the things that I love, and maybe have some free time left to like do this like on Discord and Twitch and just pursue my hobbies.
Sure.
Like a lot of people like on the internet are like all those like quotes like, or you need to be successful, have a lot of money, like big cars. And for me success is when I make enough money to just supply myself or my family and just have a happy life and a house and being healthy.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think success has like monetary value. I think your life is what you make of it, you know? And I think that sometimes that can be sort of a toxic thing, because we also still need to be able to like live, but yeah. Sorry, I don't know. Rick, I feel like I cut you off.
No, you didn't. I was just going to say, like, we're going really deep at the moment.
We have this saying in Dutch. We have this saying in Dutch. Het leven is een feestje, maar je moet zelf de slingers ophangen. And it means life's a party, but you need to hang your own garlands. Like, yeah. I don't think I just searched up the definition of like slingers in Dutch, but it says garlands, but I don't think garlands is the right word. Like the little flags you hang on a birthday.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay.
And I think that's true.
Life's a party, but you have to decorate for it yourself.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Life's a party, but you have to do the work for it.
Yeah.
Right. I like that.
But next question.
What are you most worried about with the next generation?
Of like people.
Yeah.
Well, it really depends.
I think that's interesting, because to me, you guys are the next generation.
Yeah, basically.
Hi.
Right?
But
I think
suck. we have control in what the next generation is gonna be. We are the ones in control of how the next generation is gonna turn out.
That's true.
Because when we have kids, we are the parents to teach them stuff. But and that raises the question whether you're going to give your kid as knowledge with them. That matters to you, like how you want your kid to be. That's basically the only influence you have in seeing the next generation. And if you don't have kids, then you don't have an influence at all.
Maybe.
Like
I don't know if I agree with
teachers.
that. I think you still kind of do have an influence where, I mean, interacting with people, period. I mean, I don't necessarily intend to have kids, but I interact with people. Like, I mean, I teach, you know, teach
Teachers.
young kids, and I think that has an influence as well. So
I think the younger generations, compassion and empathy.
Yep.
totally.
Really.
I'm not really worried about the next generation. So, like,
I
I think you guys are good.
worried.
You guys are good people.
Yeah, but not everyone is like us.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, not everyone in my generation
And also,
are
thank
good
you that
people
you
either.
find that you think we're good people.
Yeah, I feel most of the people that I've met that are in the generation after me, I'm like, yeah, good people. So
My heart,
I'm
and
not.
my
I am
and my ego.
I am still afraid, like on political note and like with wars and like climate change, like the things I'm worried for.
Mhm.
Yep.
And especially if you see our current world leaders, if you look at like I think Biden will do great. Trump was meh. I don't want to get too political, but I have my
You can call him a
opinions.
piece of shit. He
But if you look at like Russia, Putin, for example, or like the president of France, I am worried for our world leaders.
Mm.
I think the people that scream the loudest are chosen without that actually don't have a good plan.
Mm. Yeah,
That's
I-
called populism.
yeah, absolutely. I think that a lot of that has to do with like the sensationalized news coverage and the fact that a lot of our, like, especially in America, like the way that news companies make money is by covering stories that get clicks, right? And I
Yeah.
mean, I can't necessarily speak to other countries because I don't know, but you see it a lot in like the political wars where the people who scream the loudest or the squeakier wheels or whatever get the most coverage, and so they give a really, really like far out perspective of what's actually happening.
Also,
when in reality, the majority of the time it's way more dialed back.
the media sucks because they value clicks more than actual news.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
and
YouTube
absolutely.
and I
too.
can actually
That's
speak
everything.
out of like, what is it, the saying, experience, because when my mom was we were like in COVID time, when like it was like a bit laid down with like all the COVID rules. In this last summer, we were laying at like a lake near here with like we were like on a day out with like our family on the lake, and there was like a news group that came by and like, okay, can we ask you some questions to my mom? And we did just ask some people on the beach questions. They made an article about it and they made a video about it, and how they like cut all the footage to scare people away. It was like about like, or isn't it like full here? Isn't it, if the people take enough distance, like how many people are allowed? It was like the question they asked, and they made it so that people are still afraid to go out.
Because they needed to sell newspapers.
Yeah, it was like, oh, we really should to stay inside because it's like so busy around here, but it's like more than 6 foot between everyone. They're like really spread out. It was like a giant beach, and not everyone's like close to each other, but they made it so that people that would see the article would be scared or like, oh, it's not really safe to like go to like public places. And I think that sucks.
Yeah.
That media is like this.
It's easy to sell fear too, like, and that's the thing. I mean, and I also think in that same breath, I think that it's important for us to stay informed, and so it's like it's a double-edged sword where it's like I want to be able to read the news and stay informed, but I'm also like,
What can you
I'm going to take all of this with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So
For
it's tough.
For
It's tough.
for my like we have a subject Dutch. That Dutch is a subject for us, like our language. We need to read an article about the Chinese news, like how they hold things away from their citizens, It was like a really big scandal of like students that went out to protest, and the military just shot down the students. They just point blank. Some of them just died, and there was like a
What?
big scandal, and they just covered it up, like erased from the books, erased from the internet, and they just don't teach it. When they taught history in class, they just don't mention it at all. Only the old people in China know that it happened. They just
Crazy.
completely erased from the memory from like Chinese kids, and also they have like the Chinese government funded a project that every country of a lot of countries have like Chinese schools in them. Like you can teach like Chinese culture and Chinese language in that school, but they did it smart because the people teaching are not teaching like the scandals of China, so that even outsiders don't know about that part of China. To like have some control in other countries about like what's published in the media. And I think that's really crazy that it goes so far in like hiding stuff from their citizens.
Yep.
And from other countries.
And from other countries, yes.
That's the same with a certain religion, but I'm not going to talk about that because otherwise I'm screwed. But you guys know which one it is, and you guys know what things happen over there. So I'm not going to be political over here, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
I think religion is good to a certain point. People have something to believe in, and I think that's great.
Okay.
But I think especially like in the medieval times, it was like they had like power. Religion was like the number one power. They had more power. The church had more power than the kings in the medieval times, and I think that's crazy that they just can do things to their will.
I would just say believe whatever you want, but
I think religion is dying. Although I was raised a Christian, I am at an age that I'm like, there is something, but I don't know what. But I don't like have a specific religion. A religion I believe in.
Interesting. So I mean, because I don't believe that. I just don't believe in anything. Like, and that's not a belief in nothing. Like, I think that there's a lot of the times there's like a confusion in that when I'm like, oh, I'm an atheist. It's like it literally just means like without theism, you know. And yeah, so because I just don't see any evidence to support XYZ happening or like existing, and so I'm like, well, I don't know, you know, like it literally could be out there. Like God could exist and could like be living on another planet underneath a rock, and I would have no idea. Like the God that created the universe could be out there, and I have no idea, but I haven't seen it, you know, him, them, her, whatever.
A friend of mine.
So there's no like.
Sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, go ahead.
There was no.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was like, a friend of mine had like a really great comeback line. Or there was like, "What do you believe in?" And he was like, "I believe in myself."
Yeah, no, that's good. Totally. Yeah, I think, I mean, on your point of like religions are useful, I think that they are to an extent. I mean, both of my parents are pretty like religious, I would say, although I don't know if they would call themselves religious, but they go to church every now and then, and like they believe in God and they believe in an afterlife and all of that stuff. And I think that that's useful for them in to the extent that it gives them compassion for other people, and they don't try to push their religion on anyone else, but they use what they've learned from their religion to be nice and like share deeply and like give freely without question. And I think that those are useful things, but I also think that you can learn those without religion.
That's true.
Those would exist without religion. Because to me, I think, well, if I don't have anything after this life, if after I die it's over, then I should give as much as possible, because everything I have is worthless after this. I'm not taking anything with me. I don't like whatever quote unquote soul I have that I don't know that I have is not there, you know, it's not going anywhere. So I might as well just give to people and love people and care for people as much as possible.
It's the same as like we're chasing money all our lives, but in the end we don't have, it doesn't bring any value.
Yeah. What
Because
is it worth?
We can't bring money into our grave.
Yeah, well, a lot of times too, I think people are chasing money instead of wealth.
Yes.
And money and wealth are totally different things. You know, like we want money, but we're empty inside. But wealth is derived from the value that we give, like sometimes money, but also sometimes like relationships and sometimes like a meal shared with someone or whatever. So
it's the little things that give life meaning.
Yeah, totally.
And also with religion, it's like I approve religion, but some people are like, oh, if you don't believe in my religion, then I don't like you, or then you're this. And I'm like, okay, but it's fine that you follow a religion, but you should totally respect anyone that doesn't follow a religion or follows a different religion.
Totally. Yeah, if someone believes something, most of the time I'm like, why? Why do you believe that? And not like a why, but more like a like tell me why. Like, this is interesting, you know, genuinely, because I don't believe it, but I want to know why you do. You know, religion aside, if someone thinks something and I don't think that thing, I'm like, well, this is cool. Tell me why you believe this thing, because this is now a conversation where I can learn something, because I could be totally wrong. You know, it wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong about something, and it won't be the last. So like, let's have a conversation about why you think this thing and I don't, so that I can learn, or maybe you can learn, or whatever. Like, that's how being a human works. You know,
especially when people have like followed two different religions and they go into a fight, like, this is better, or like you should have done this, and they like to try to convert each other. Meanwhile, they should just respect each other for who they are.
Totally.
And if they want to have a discussion about like to each other, like about a different religion, that's fine, but leave each other in value. Don't bring each other down.
But if you're going against like the basic moral image of the Western culture, like respect women, respect gay people, then it's too much for me. Then I can't respect you. I'm sorry, but I just can't.
It's
you
really
say a woman is less than a man. Sorry, but no, just no.
So I see exactly where you're coming from, and I absolutely understand how that's a super hard conversation to have, and I feel inside, like when I've had conversations with people that feel that way or have said stuff like that, not necessarily like, oh, women are less, because I think that that's way more rare than someone, especially in America, finding someone who's like, oh, well, women aren't equal, blah blah blah. It's harder to find someone that says that, as opposed to, oh, well, I don't think that gay people should like have equal rights or something like that. Like, gay people shouldn't be able to be married. It's easier to find someone that thinks that, right? But if I'm talking to someone that thinks that, I do get like tensed up inside, but I'm also like, okay, I grew up in Idaho, which is like a very politically Republican place that a lot of people that I grew up around thought that and think that probably still to this day. And I'm like, well, I like love and respect those people, and I'm having a conversation with this person, and so I see like this parallel with like these people that I grew up with who I cared about, that were just human beings, you know, a lot of the times like parroting what their parents said, and I know that I parroted what my parents said, even though we didn't really talk about homosexuality. And I think, okay, well, like, let me just give this person the benefit of the doubt and see like why they really think that. But I absolutely, Rick, like understand being like, okay, like I can't have this conversation, and I think that that's a valid thing to just be like, no, I can't talk about that.
Yeah,
that's
here
fine.
in the Netherlands, it's less rare to find someone who's actually against women
or against homosexuality.
And homosexuality.
Mm-hmm. Which honestly, thank goodness, because like it doesn't make it personally, that doesn't make any sense to me why someone would be against that. especially if it has nothing to do with them.
Because
know,
a
like-
book of 3,000 before Christ says that I can't respect women and should throw some stones to homosexuals.
Yeah,
But
it's tough. It's really tough.
It's
I
like-
think that
if you want to go in a conversation or discussion with people that, like, especially with homosexuality, doesn't believe in the same things you that, like, are against homosexuality or against, like, women's rights, empathy is important. It sounds
totally.
stupid, but have empathy for them.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I mean,
feel
as
sorry
someone who,
for them
because
that
I
I
also
think
grew up
that.
Christian, and
We
like,
all did.
yeah. Do we? Okay, go. We all did, and like, I like falling away from that, and being like, oh, I don't think this anymore. I did think this, and now I don't. What changed? And it was like this very gradual like step away from it that it just kind of faded me out, and I was like it wasn't like one day I just woke up and I was like, no, I don't believe that. It was like
It's
like,
the same
well,
for me.
that doesn't make any sense to me because of this, and this doesn't make any sense to me because of this. And it's not that I look at the Bible and I'm like, oh, well, this whole thing is garbage, because there are aspects, like pieces of the Bible, that I can look at and be like, wow, this is really interesting, this is really cool, like it's written really well, like there's some cool, like, well, some parts of it are written really well, like there's some beautiful like poetry in it, but I don't look at it as like a piece of historical fact. I look at it as like, is the same way I would look at like Moby Dick. It's a piece of literature.
You don't see it
But
as like
I'm
a
not
way of
gonna-
living.
Yeah, but I'm not going to worship Herman Melville.
Yeah.
So
No, I think I have the same, but with like all religions. I was raised Christian. My parents are Christian, but they don't really go to church. And my grandparents are like heavily Christian. They go to church every Sunday. But it just faded away. The older I got, the more it faded, and my parents didn't really care because never actually talked about their like religion or like their opinions on religion. But they're just, I think they're the same as me, but it just faded away after a while. But it shouldn't make me, I don't know where I'm going with this. It shouldn't, it's like, oh,
You
if
could
you,
say it in Dutch,
people-
and I'll just translate
people
it.
should, I don't even know what I'm saying, I'm trying to say in Dutch, but people shouldn't judge people, or shouldn't judge me for not believing in anything. Or like, I shouldn't judge someone for believing in this.
yeah, absolutely.
How long are we recording at the moment?
53 minutes.
53.
How long do you guys usually go for?
About
1
an
hour.
hour.
Nice.
So just a
Did
couple
we go?
minutes and
Did we go
we'll
too
go.
deep, Rick?
No. Rick knows we
Nah.
did some heavy subjects already.
Cool. I love talking about religion. It's really interesting to me. But I agree with what you're saying, Xe, where it's like,
Yeah,
I
but
mean, we shouldn't judge people if they believe something.
but believing and acting like it is something different, because
Yes.
I know someone who lived next to people with religion X. I'm not going to say the religion because I don't
Sure.
want to upset people. And she heard him beating up his own wife every day. Every day. She couldn't get out of the house because he wouldn't allow it.
That's messed up.
And when she asked them, they just
Denied it.
didn't give an answer and never talked to her again. Which it's I'm already getting upset for even saying it.
Yeah, no, I know
Yeah.
what you're
Really.
talking about for sure.
It's
and it's-
upsetting.
It's
Right.
absolutely
Coming back on like the whole religion and like homosexuality, I don't get people that hate people or like think people are less for believing something they don't believe themselves. Why? And I think that's also because for me it's like peace, love and positivity. Just have respect and just have respect for for like other humans. Just respect them and leave them in their value, whatever they believe, doesn't really matter. But then it hit me. I would never understand it because I don't have a hater's mentality, or I don't have that mentality to hate on people that don't believe what I'm believing.
Sorry about the wind. I don't know if it's making noise in my mic.
No, I
A
don't
little
hear anything.
bit of birds chirping.
Birds chirping? Okay, that's not too bad then.
Chirp.
Yeah,
chirp,
yeah. It takes all kinds of people, and it doesn't mean that it's right. Especially, I'm thinking about what you were talking about, Rick, like those actions. I think that there is some level of beauty in religion, but I think that how do I want to say this?
It's
Hold on,
okay.
let me
take
say
your
it in Dutch,
time.
and then you translate it, okay? The
It gives meaning to some people, or it gives life meaning for some people.
well, I think more of what I'm trying to say is like the way that humans take religion and add greed to it and sort of poison it and bend it to benefit them and shape religions to structure societies, right? Because a lot of rules in religions, especially newer religions, are built to structure societies in the way that certain people wanted those societies to be structured.
Yep.
And then hundreds of years passed, thousands of years passed, whatever, and we took those rules to be like God-given truths. And I think that's messed up because they were written by humans, and that's not cool.
Yeah.
So,
That wasn't very cash money of you.
yeah, man. That's not copacetic,
Boo.
bro. So,
Bro.
yeah.
Bro. Dude, bro.
I don't know the solution to it. But on Exy's point of not having that hater mentality, I think that looking at situations and saying like, what is the worst possible like direction that you could take humanity, and what is the best possible direction that you could take humanity, and what actions can I take as a person to move in that direction, and then taking those actions, I think is a good thing. Anything that I do for the benefit of myself and everyone else, I think is a good thing. And everything I do for the anything less than that can be considered less than good.
Very true.
But what you were saying about
I also think that's without religion.
like benefit, trying to like do the best for yourself and people around you.
Mm-hmm.
That's like kindness. A lot of people still like, oh, I'm doing like the best for myself and people around me, but unconsciously still like doing kind things to still benefit from themselves.
Yeah. Like, well, that's like that argument where there's no such thing as true altruism, right? Where like we can't actually be selflessly kind. Everything that we do is sort of to benefit ourselves in some way. Even a true selfless act is in its way, like in its own way, some sort of selfish.
Yep, because you get fame and that...
or like even that little bit of like, oh, I did a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Same about like, I don't know if you remember, Bryson, but I sent you a video a while ago of Gary V. Like he was talking about like, well, you're grabbing your boss's coffee each morning, or you're grabbing like coffee each morning for your boss in the hope they will promote you, but in the end he doesn't, and you get upset about him not promoting you.
It's about expectations too, right?
Yeah, but that's hypocritical.
Mm-hmm.
If you would like to give him coffee without him asking you to bring him coffee, and then being mad for him not promoting you.
Yeah, totally.
That's different.
Totally.
Different kindnesses.
There was no expectation set. Yeah. So I'm reading this book right now called You Are Now Less Dumb. It's the second book by this guy. I don't remember his name. I guess I'm not less dumb. But like the third chapter is called The Benjamin Franklin Effect. It's a book full of like a list of cognitive biases and different like fallacies.
David McRaney.
David McRaney, thank you. Have you read this book? Or did you just look it up?
Search it up.
Nice. It's really good. But the third chapter is about the Benjamin Franklin effect, I think is what it's called. And the misconception is that we hate people who do us wrong, and we love people who are kind to us. But the truth is that we do nice things, like when we do nice things for people, we tend to like them more. And when we are mean to people, we tend to dislike them. But it's about the action that comes first, right? If I do something nice for someone, I will tend to like them more.
Yeah.
So my attitude is set to neutral, and then I do something nice, and I tend to like that person more. It tricks my brain into being like, this is a good person. This is someone I did something nice for. Obviously, I will like them better. And I think that the same thing goes with groups and ideals and morality, etc. That we have these set ideas in place of, well, I'm going to do something negative or think something negative toward this morality or this idea or this group. And so then we begin to dislike or hate or think badly of that group. But it's because we did something first. We took action against that instead of thinking, well, I don't know anything about that, right? Instead of just maintaining neutral.
Yeah.
It's like when you do a favor for someone, they're more likely to like you as well. And it gives you more leverage to be in a good position with that person.
Yeah, that's true too.
So people, be kind to others.
True.
Hydrate.
Drink your water. Eat your veggies. And
stay in school.
Yeah, that's about it. Also
drink your water. Eat your veggies. Stay in school. Take your pills. If you need to.
Take care of yourself. Take care of each other.
I think that wraps it up for this week.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
So
thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining.
I appreciate it.
And hopefully see you guys in the next podcast.
Yeah.
You wanted to do the outro, Bryson?
What's the outro? What do I say?
Something. Just do something.
Oh, right. Yeah. We'll see you on the next time.
Next week.
What's the podcast? It's good. The
CroudonCast.
We'll see you on the next CroudonCast.
Oh yeah.
Later, studers. Bye now.